I want to thank you for checking out another podcast of We Ain't Scared Talk, where we ain't scared. My name is A1, and today's topic, yet again, as I'm sure, is going to cause some much needed discussion, and there may not be, admittedly, any concrete answer that we all can sort of agree to, but the idea again is to generate conversation, and then you draw your own conclusion based on your beliefs or personal convictions, whatever that may be. So before I jump in, thanks again, and please hit that subscribe button. Subscribe. YouTube. And happy Black History Month to all. Happy Black History Month. It should be Black History Year, but we'll take what we can and do some research. Look up some another a black figure other than Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Please, there are other prominent black people, individuals that have contributed significantly to the well-being of not just black people, but non-black people, other than Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. So that's a whole nother podcast. I'm not going to go into that. And let's see. So today's topic is, before I jump in, Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. We Ain't Scared Talk on Twitter, and also IG. We Ain't Scared Talk. All right. Thank you for that. And as usual, I have a lot of notes, so bear with me. So that being said, today's topic is, should black men be heroes if they see someone in danger? Should black men be heroes if they see someone in danger? Now, just to give you some backstory on where this topic came from, I was online, Facebook to be exact, and there was a little bit of an exchange. There was information about a black man, and how he intervened, right, in a situation, and it didn't end that well. So I'll come to that, but just know I would like to give a little bit of backstory on that. So once more, it's going to be touchy for some and not for others, but I want to start with the idea of, am I my brother's keeper, right? Am I my brother's keeper? And I think most of us, well, some of us, not most of us, we really remember that from the movie New Jack City, Nino Brown, G Money, and CMB. Man, we all we got, right? But I know there's some biblical references as well and ideologies. But I'm going to let you go to whatever is the most comfortable conclusion as to what that, am I my brother's keeper, right? And what that means, because there's too many religions to even try to go down that rabbit hole. So I want to keep it somewhat basic, but I want to dive into it, right? All right, so here we go. Now, we have all heard the stories about black men that intervened in situations that they had no direct involvement with to begin with. Okay? And it was that same black man, right, that wound up or ended up getting murdered or seriously hurt. So I'm going to give you a few examples. That way you don't think, I'm just pulling this out of the thin air. So number one, there was a Waffle House. There was a black guy who rushed a Waffle House shooter. And I think this was in Atlanta, I believe, Georgia. And he sustained some injuries for it. Now, he went on a national TV, round of interviews. He was, you're a hero. You're a hero. You stop people from being killed or murdered. So that's one example. There's another example. There's a black man that saw a black woman getting beat up by her black boyfriend. And he intervened. And the boyfriend shot and killed the hero black man. Terrible. All right, the next one, this was in Illinois. It was a black security guard. Okay, he chased and caught a shooting suspect only to be gunned down by police when they arrived because the security guard had his gun drawn, right, on the suspect. So the suspect's on the ground, security guard on top of him, on his back, on the ground, and the cops didn't know which one was the suspect. So who did they shoot and kill? The security guard. That's right, the one with the gun, right, who was doing a good deed. And we all know security guards, first of all, they tell security guard, you're a security guard, you're not a cop. Something goes down, you get on your two-way or walkie-talkie, and you just call for help. You're not a cop. Okay, here's the fourth example. This was in France. This was a black Frenchman, okay? Well, he was a black man, and I'll tell you more about that. But anyway, he scales an apartment complex to save a falling baby, or to save a baby from falling. And he becomes a hero. So much so that he earned his citizenship. France said, hey, you know what? If you're willing to sacrifice your life for a little baby, we're going to give you your citizenship. And now he's known as Spider-Man. Spider-Man, Spider-Man. All right, so. Now, while on the surface, based on TV and movies, I honestly believe, and, to a degree, we're kind of programmed, right? The reluctant hero. There's a small bit of hero complex that's been planted, I think, personally, inside of all of us. But we have to remember, this is the real world. This is not Hollywood. These are real bullets, and there are real consequences. And cops have shown, as I've said this numerous times, that they're not a black man's friend. And they will kill you. They will murder you for doing nothing, right? If you give them a chance, or the chance. So, again, no matter how well-intentioned you are, Mr. Black Man, please consider what I am going to say to you. All right? Now, this next thing, this is the conundrum that usually follows into this conversation. The next logical thought or question is, if a black man sees a black woman in distress, right, and does nothing, okay, does this reinforce the complaint that black men don't protect the black woman? I'm going to say that again because I really want you to understand where I'm going with this. If a black man sees a black woman in distress and does nothing, okay, does that reinforce the complaint in the black community that black men don't protect the black woman? Okay? Now, to be honest, I think it's more about optics more than anything. Okay? Of course, yes, every black man on the planet should protect the black woman, right? Much like in the same way that black women should protect the black man. It is a shared responsibility. Now, I think the real issue is, how do you know when the time is appropriate? And this is important, right? How do you know when the time is appropriate? Relationships are tricky, okay? And at times it can be dangerous, right? Domestic violence incidents are the most unpredictable types of situations for anyone to navigate and de escalate. All right. The main issue being that you don't know who started the fight, what the fight is about, and what each person involved in that fight has on them at the time of the fight, i.e., weapons. Okay? And then let's be honest. There is no secret that in some domestic violence situations that the female, okay, is in, that the man is trying to save her from, in terms of the beating, that same female will then turn around and attack the man that is trying to save her from the boyfriend or husband that was beating the woman to begin with. And that's real. That does happen. It's like no good deed goes unpunished, right? So that good deed of protecting the black woman has backfired on multiple levels. And here's just a few so that I can be specific. Number one, she fights the hero, the black man trying to save her boyfriend, the one that's beating her. Number two, she isn't grateful or understanding that the hero was there to save her. Number three, the hero is now potentially going to get attacked by the black female and or shot by the angry boyfriend that was just beating the crap out of her. Now, let's take it one step further. Can you imagine a black man jumps on another black man to save a black woman? The cops show up, shoot and kill both black men because they don't know what's going on. And then the black woman is left standing over two dead black male bodies. Can you imagine how horrible that would be? Okay. Now, I guess the point is this. Every black man needs to make their safety the number one priority. Self-preservation. Right? Self-preservation is key. I have to stay alive for my family. Now, I wish the black community had the same solidarity that other communities have. And the reason why I say this is if the black community had that type of solidarity, I may feel a little different about the direction that I'm going with this topic. Okay, but we don't. Again, I wish we did, but our attitude in a lot of ways is you get yours and I will get mine. Well, the truth is you can't have it both ways, okay? Or desire the solidarity when it's convenient. Ideally, it has to be all the time. And then maybe this hero complex I wouldn't have a problem with, but we don't, right? You turn your back on me when I really need you, but then you expect me to jump in to save you when you're in a tough situation. No, not going to do it. Now, does that mean that people are not worth saving? Of course people are worth saving. Of course. Just not by black people. America has proven time and time and time again that it does not value the life of a black man. It doesn't. So you don't value me, but you want me to sacrifice everything. As Lincoln said, the fullest measure of devotion. And therefore, again, the only logical conclusion I can draw is that unless the black female that is being attacked is my mama, my sister, my auntie, my grandmama, or someone in my immediate family, relative, black man, keep walking. As a matter of fact, run. Get in your car, run to your car, get in the car and leave. And get home safely to your family. Get home to your family. You could get there in time to save your sister from something. Or a female in your family. Get home. Now, some might hear that and say, that sounds so cold and unfeeling. It's so insensitive. Right? Well, my response to that is, it's not as cold and unfeeling as the black man's dead body lying in a casket. That's cold and unfeeling. Because he felt obligated to help somebody that he didn't even know. It's not as cold and unfeeling as having to tell that black man's children, daddy died or was murdered trying to save somebody he didn't know. I'm not sending that message. Don't send that message. This ain't Luke Cage. Black men are not bulletproof. Now, can we be even more honest? Well, of course, I am. Who is to say that the fight that the black man and woman were engaged in wasn't mutual combat? I recall there was an event, Terrence Howard, the Lucius Lyon on Empire. Him and one of his ex-wives were on vacation in Hawaii, and they got into a physical altercation, scuffle. Basically, they both put hands on each other and tried to make the other one look like they were the perpetrator. But a court intervened and said, no, it's mutual combat. You both are equally culpable. So, you both get nothing in that decision. But anyway, mutual combat. It does happen. All right, that both the man and the woman put hands on each other. All right, that they both choose to fight each other. It's just that the female learned that she shouldn't put her hands on a man. That does happen. Now, does it justify it? No. Because I can hear those chorus of voices. What does it mean he could just put his... No, of course it doesn't justify it. But look, if you kick and punch or stoke, bad things happen. But it doesn't justify it. Right? So let me ask, like this question, because this is important as well. This is another sort of layer that people probably aren't thinking about. If a black woman saw another black woman beating a black man, would she feel obligated to jump in and stop the other black woman from beating or continually beating or hitting that black man? Or would she keep walking and say, hey, it ain't my business. I ain't breaking a nail for no. Would she say it ain't my business? And would she say, well, he's a grown ass man and he needs to take care of himself? How he gonna let himself get beat up by a female? You wouldn't have no respect. So are we to believe that those same thoughts, or those thoughts, wouldn't cross their mind? Are we expected to believe that? Of course they would. And why wouldn't they? And furthermore, most females, as I said, would be upset because whether we want to admit it or not, women want to believe that a man can handle himself in a situation with a female and not become, for lack of a better description, the victim of a beating. They do. All right. To continue, black men have too many daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, deadly obstacles that we got to navigate, that we have to overcome, or it is certain death. So we can't just walk around inserting ourselves in a domestic violence situation. Why? Because it only increases the odds that our own demise, our own death, will result. This is why I say again, keep walking, homie. You say a prayer for that couple or those people, and you keep it moving. Keep it moving. Nothing to see here. They didn't want to say, nothing to see here. Keep it moving. Nothing to see here. There's no need to jeopardize your future. Your future. Because two people that you don't know were fighting and it got out of hand. Right? There's no need, black man. Don't jeopardize your future. You're not a punk if you walk away. You're thinking about your life. And again, it ain't your mama. It ain't your grandmama. It's not your sister. Keep walking. Again, some of you might disagree with that, and that's okay. We don't have to agree. But because I am a black man that could be gunned down in the streets by a cop or the very person who's engaging in the violent behavior at any moment, I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to risk it. How about this? Black woman, carry mace. Carry mace. And or a stun gun, right? And if anybody puts their hands on you, you can mace them and you can keep it pushing. I know. But it's sad. But we got to make a decision. It's sad that it has to come to this, but the world in which we live is too unforgiving. And nobody cares when a black man dies doing something heroic. Hell, nobody cares when a black man dies for doing nothing. Let alone heroics. If you don't care about me when I'm murdered unarmed for doing nothing, what should make me believe that you're going to care more because I'm doing something heroic? You ain't writing no checks. Ain't nobody writing no checks. Ain't nobody saying, hey, man, because you did that, we're going to, give you X, Y, Z dollars and, your family's going to. Nobody's cutting no checks, man. Okay, so they fly you to some studio to get interviewed by Steve Harvey. You're on the Today Show, Good Morning America for a week. All right, but now you got to go home and deal with the bullet wounds if you survive. and the medical attention and the medical bills. Again, if you survive or your family's got to bury you. But oh, hey, your picture is splashed across national TV. How about do it when there is no violence associated with me? It's like the only time you see a black man across national TV, right, is either he's a victim of violence or he perpetrated the violence. It's rarely just, hey, this is John Doe black man who has taken care of his family, done the right thing his whole life, and we wanted to profile him because we believe this is the type of person and example that the world needs to know. You don't ever see that. And that's the problem. Look, as I said at the top of the show, you're going to have your own opinions, your own thoughts, and that's fine. Again, that's the whole point. But for me, to you black man listening, don't be a hero. Go home, put on a movie. Let it go. All right. Well, I want to thank you for checking out another podcast of We Ain't Scared Talk. You got some good food for thought. My name is A1, and we ain't scared.